Hello again, everybody. This is Brother Chooch for Thinking Out Loud About the End Times. This is the home of the Rapture Heads. Welcome. This is another quick hitter, and it's an update on the status of the red heifers that the Temple Institute in Jerusalem has been watching very closely to see if they qualify or not to be sacrificed in order to purify the people and the site of the temple in order for the temple to be rebuilt and sacrifices to take place. So prophetically speaking, these red heifers are extremely important, just like we said before. You can't have a temple without the ashes of a red heifer. Obviously, you can't have the ashes of a red heifer unless you have qualifying red heifers. And if you don't have the temple, obviously you can't do sacrifices. And if you can't do sacrifices, you can't fulfill prophecy that speaks of the daily sacrifices coming to a halt at the time of the abomination of desolation in the middle of the week, which would be 3.5 years in to the tribulation period. So these red heifers are extremely significant as we watch prophecy unfold. So there's been a lot of excitement in the Watchman community when we discovered, or when we heard a report from the Temple Institute that there were at least 2 red heifers back in 2018, 2019 that at that point were qualified as red heifers. Now, red heifers that qualify according to their standards, this is not necessarily biblical standards, but their standards is that a few things have to take place. One is this has to be a red heifer that is without blemish, without it only could maybe have 1 or 2 white hairs, but like 3 or more white hairs. And think about, a heifer having probably hundreds of thousands of hairs on it. If 3 or more white hairs are discovered by the rabbi, and they inspect these heifers, like, I kid you not, with a magnifying glass, right? So if they find that, they become unkosher and do not qualify for sacrifice. Now, it's been a long time before we got an update from the Temple Institute. And the last, what they left us back in, I believe, August of 2020, is that of the 2 red heifers that they've really been keeping a close eye on, that were coming of age in order to be sacrificed, that these red heifers, all right, they had too many white hairs. And one of the red heifers became basically disqualified, but they were keeping an eye on another red heifer, and they said that there was a chance, and at the time they said a likely chance, that those white hairs can turn red. And so we've been waiting and waiting and waiting, and we hadn't heard anything from the Temple Institute, and I just got an update about 20 minutes ago. All right, and I was holding my breath during the update, and so I would like to present that update. And this was from Yitzchak Reuven. He's from the Temple Institute, and as he spoke, and I will put in the description box below the link that you could view this video yourself. Yitzchak said that the red heifers that they had been watching closely, that they reported on 7 or 8 months ago, hoping that the white hairs would turn red, unfortunately did not happen. And they deemed, sad to say, bad news, I guess, sad to say, those two red heifers are pretty much deemed as unkosher and disqualified, which is a big letdown. So that's the bad news. But the good news is, much to my surprise, is that they're eyeballing two more red heifers that are quote unquote coming of age and that have white hairs on them, but they're still of the age where those white hairs can turn red. There's a chance. So, as Yitzchak said, that, as the Passover is approaching, the need to have a qualifying red heifer for the nation of Israel is significant because they do want to sacrifice the lambs. Obviously, they wouldn't be able to sacrifice the lambs with a temple because there's no way they could get the temple up in a couple weeks. But if they get the green light and they get the red heifers that qualify, things could happen really quick. And I still believe that in 2021 this can happen. So basically what Yitzchak has said, and interestingly enough, as we approach Shabbat of the red heifer, which is this coming Shabbat, is that it's just interesting time, because these two red heifers, I would imagine, with everything else happening prophetically, that there is a significant chance that the Lord will allow at least one of these red heifers for their hairs, the white hairs, to turn red. But we don't know. We don't know the Lord's plan. So we watch, and I'm thankful that the Temple Institute gave us an update. I had a feeling that we were going to get an update at some point in 2021, early 2021. Here we are, early March, and we get an update. But it's not quite the update we were hoping for. But like I said, a lot of things could happen right away, and it's quite possible that even by the end of the month, or in April, or even May, that these few hairs that are white could become red. Now, just like Yitzchak said, these two young female cows are coming of age to qualify for sacrifice. All right? So, for those in the TOL community, this might be a little bit of a code language, but if you are interested in Operation L'Oreal Paris RR-07, again, if you are interested in partaking in Operation L'Oreal Paris RR-07, please comment below in your interest. Okay? You're going to need a couple things to know in order to do this. One is you would have to afford round-trip airfare to and from back home, Jerusalem. And you have to have experience with, let's say, working in a salon. Okay? In the event that everything, let's say, goes according to prophetic plans, if these red heifers become qualified, this becomes extremely significant, and it should get the alarm bells going and the red flags rising on that the temple is probably going to get the green light to be built very, very soon. Folks, 2021 is a real time of watching and waiting and seeing how these things unfold. It's all up to the Lord. It's not up to man. So our operation may fail, all right? But if you're still willing to give it a go, because I know a lot of you have been very patient and want to see things move along. So anyways, I hope that this was helpful. The good news is there's still, I don't know how, but there's according to the Temple Institute, there's still 2 red heifers that have the potential of becoming qualified. All right? So that's our quick hitter TOL heifer update. I hope to see you here, there, but really especially in the year. God bless you.